Yeah, you should do that too.
Oh, I didn't. I didn't fuck up this time.
Ooh.
Although saying the word fuck within the first 3 seconds of a live stream is probably not a great idea, nor repeating it about 3 seconds later.
Yeah, come on, Rick Ross. You're gonna get us canceled.
Shut up, you big ass motherfucker.
Oh man, that was not. That was one of the things that I was not expecting to see today.
Did not expect to see Keith Lee pop, nor like, and it's just a week after hearing Ricky Starks like abbreviate it twice or 3 times in this promo. I'm the coldest MFer, I'm the most stylish MFer. Rick Ross is just like, motherfucker.
I mean, when you're standing in front of Keith Lee, you can drop a couple of F-bombs, I think. Like, whoa.
But also, in Rick Ross's usual circle of people he's doing business with, how many people you think are bigger than Rick Ross?
I don't know. Yeah, he didn't look very big today. Not at all.
But yeah, back to real quick. Yeah, it's always great to hear stuff about the Lions. And man, like every hole that you thought that we might have had when we would sit there when we were losing, every single one of those position groups has started to come on. Our defensive tackles have started to come on. Sadly, one of the spots that we thought we might have been more okay, defensive backs. Well, we were counting on Amani, and he has been so trash that he basically got kicked off the team for a short time.
Yeah. Okuda doesn't look like a piece of shit. He has some bad plays, but he has some really, really good play. Like,
so many people want to give up on him already, though.
Yeah, his bad plays really stand out, but they don't notice the entire game where no one is catching a pass against him. It's just that one bad play that they see.
Like, honestly, he would be a starting 2 cornerback probably on any team in the league, and a number 1 for at least half of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, I get it. He was a number 3 pick, so you expect transcendental talent out of that with a corner, but that's not what he is. But he's going to be a really good corner, I think. This is really like his first year, his first full season.
Yeah,
that he's playing now. So
between his injury last year, and then we're going to just not count the Patricia years now. It's gonna kind of be like a Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer year. It just doesn't count. But man, because I was so ready to take Jalen Carter, but now it's like Bugs was solid, and then McNeil has been much better.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time,
been looking pretty good recently.
I'm slowly turning the corner on whether or not we should draft the quarterback.
I said that at the beginning of this year, this offense was going to look good enough to where people would be like, maybe we should keep Goff. And that's what scared me.
But what scares me is when you say that, I would agree with you. I thought they would be good enough where we're going to be sitting at like 7 wins and not be in a position to get a quarterback, but it would be clear that Goff was mediocre. The problem is Goff hasn't been average.
Yeah.
He's been really fucking good.
Yeah.
Statistically.
I don't know.
No, I agree with you.
Him being a guy that's going to win a Super Bowl.
But it's not about necessarily Goff. Tell me a quarterback in this draft that we will have a shot at with the Rams pick. Actually, tell me a quarterback in this draft, period, that you have that confidence in. That's where the
only one I
comes
like
from
is
me.
Stroud.
And he
like
has
that
huge
much.
question marks.
He does, yeah.
So that's why I just mean it's hard, because if you waste that pick and he's doing good and it could have been a game changer on defense, it's going to sting real
Don't get me
bad.
wrong. If we got that like if we can grab like another top edge rusher or
If Jalen Carter can beat
something
Ndamukong
else.
Suh, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
But you bring up edge. I'm not saying this is the sack the quarterback guy. We'll switch back in a minute. But what I don't think people give enough credit for is, people talk about how there's been a massive change to our defense in the last 7 games for us. There is a certain high round draft pick that we drafted that plays on the defensive line that came off the pup list and started playing right then with Pascal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So yeah, he could do well too, but I don't know.
he's a
I feel
stuffer, not a rusher.
So yeah, we definitely. I think if we've got somebody else coming off edges for pass downs, at least, especially for obvious pass downs.
Is Romeo back? I know he's been hurt. I think his brother is back. I don't know if Okora's back.
I don't think so.
And look at what Houston's been doing. But Kirby Joseph, leading vote getter for the Pro Bowl at his position.
Oh, really?
The rookie.
What? So everybody was like, we got to get us a line in there.
And if you didn't know, he only recently started playing DB. He's a wide receiver when he started college.
Really?
So he should only get better, hopefully.
Hey. Let's see, he's making them look like a genius. What round did we grab him in?
I think he was the 3rd.
Okay.
Unless we had 2 2s.
No. No.
Bear with us, everybody.
I'm still not 100% certain, but no.
Bear with us, everybody. We don't get to actually be excited about the Lions. Not only make shot of making the playoffs, a good shot of making the playoffs, and actually having everybody talk about them.
Yeah. The Lions are beating people. And even this last week, they didn't even look good and they won. And I was like, I'm more happy that they didn't look good and still won.
Round 3, pick 97.
Yep.
6'1" safety.
Kirby.
But spelled with an E, though. But we could still if I ever go to a Lions game again, I want to make a sign that has a Kirby character with a Kirby Joseph jersey on. Get that football.
Just swallow up receivers.
That or football for turnovers.
Yeah.
No idea how I necessarily want to do this. There were so many segments on tonight's show.
It was a lot of segment.
All right. So the first
segment.
I'm just going to try to figure out the first part that we go to, and then we can kind of try to do segments from there. So we had Elite versus that triangle. There's no real segment to pair with that, so nothing really to spin off of. Hook defeats Exodus Prime. That could bring us to the Firm, which can bring us to, what was the Firm? Ethan Page versus Danielson, which we could spin Danielson into MJF.
Yep. That.
It's a lot of spinning, but I don't even know if it gets us ever to another match. So I don't... Oh, the firm can get us to the Gun Club versus FTR.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah, because all the Danielson stuff is just it's promo stuff. It doesn't really have to go with anything like a match.
No. Yeah, it's just a whole lot of Brian.
Wait, did I really just say start off with Hulk and Exodus Prime?
I think you did.
I can't believe that's how we're gonna open the show. You want to know what you do to start the show? Send Hook.
Send Hook. Yeah. They basically started the show by sending Hook.
Get that in before intro and everything.
Just sent Hook out there, and then he left.
We know that's what he does after the show.
Yeah, yeah. They sent him out, and then he left, and that was it.
Well, it's
completely separate incident attached to it.
That part is I don't even know what you're referring to. I'm just thinking about when we went to it.
No, I was just thinking about how Hook kind of looked like he didn't care about Jungle Boy getting his ass beat.
I just remember Tony invited him out, and he came out and said like, "What's up?" and like fist bumped and then left. Before they all eventually went to the ring.
Oh yeah.
It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. There was a special episode of AEW Dynamite, the Holiday Bash, if you will. I'm just saying, this guy over here,
your boy Range Emotions.
We're Top Rope Tokes here to talk to you about wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still real to me, damn it.
As real as Santa Claus. Everybody
Santa
just
Claus,
believe.
Easter Bunny. Believe it, everybody. No Naruto reference.
You know what? Curveball. Speaking of the holiday season, we had match number 5 of the best of 7 series, which featured Cutler Elv.
Yeah, he was the Will Ferrell elf, of course.
Pretty tall too.
Yeah, and he is definitely taller than everybody else that was in the match. I mean, I guess Kenny's not sure, but
he's also not really tall either.
Yeah.
By wrestling standards, I have no room to talk. I live the leprechaun life, pretty much.
Me too.
You're more like Keith Lee, you big motherfucker. Get to that later. But of course, this Trios match was a no DQ, which we talked about before. Them giving us different stories throughout the threads of these 7 matches, because even though they're great teams and we love seeing them face each other, 7 times would get old if it was just a normal match.
Yeah, each match is I mean, the first 2 were very this is Death Triangle and the Elite.
Right.
But since then the story beat has been much different. The pace has been a lot different. Obviously, with this match being no DQ, it was completely different. Because you got all their henchmen joining in.
They got some fun stuff out of the way early because I can't remember who was in the corner for Death Triangle, but all of the Elite did corner splashes. Penta?
It was Penta, yeah.
And then Nakazawa even got one in, and Cutler went to do it, and he got stopped by Alex. I forgot what Alex tried to do to. Didn't Alex do something at first to him besides just stop him? Or was it just
I can't remember what
stop?
It was. Yeah, it was just kind of like a. No, you can't do that too.
Well, he got cold spray to the face.
Yeah. So when did the Christmas tree get in the ring? I didn't see.
The first
I did not
time,
see when that happened.
The first time I noticed it was during picture in picture, because I remember just kind of looking away from the TV, or at least looking away from the matches, and looking back, I'm like, oh, there's a Christmas tree in the ring.
That Christmas tree though. Yeah, that was the best part of it, is they kept trying to go with the Christmas theme here. Like, everyone kept trying to use the garland to choke each other, or slam each other. Penta even hit Kenny in the back with the garland, and it like barely touched him, and Kenny reacted like it actually hurt. They tried so hard with the Christmas theme here.
And one of the early favorite things that I heard you love when we were sitting and talk about it, just getting to see a Penta stroll around the ring twirling it.
Yeah, he's just walking around. They were going. It was great. I loved the Christmas theme. I love that they tried to make it work, even though it was ridiculous, but it worked.
There's a bit more of living up to DQ stuff, because Kenny did bust out a broom wrapped in barbed wire, and really the only one that was a victim of it was Phoenix.
And Kenny.
Yeah. He basically sat on it.
Yeah. Because, yeah, he had that barbed wire all up in between his cheeks. Yay!
Because I know he swung it a few times, but then he ends up doing a Tiger Driver, dropping Phoenix's head into it, and then, yeah, all that underneath area for Kenny getting tore up.
Yeah.
Oh, but actually, right before he did that was when the Young Bucks did the double dive to the outside, sending Hack and Penta through tables, too.
That was a hype one there. Nah, yeah, Nick did, or no, Matt did a senton, right?
Nick did a senton, Matt did the elbow drop.
No, Nick did the senton, Matt did the elbow drop, right?
Yeah.
Why would Matt do it in a senton? He doesn't do that.
Like I said, just think of it as Matt and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. He really could.
That is one reason why
cosplayers.
That's one reason why that was that time when they were about to face. It was. I loved it so much when it happened.
That was so great. That was one of my favorite moments.
I got to see Gangrel.
Yeah. Gangrel out of nowhere. Gangrel out of nowhere.
But
wild.
Nick was definitely selling the ankle up still. At one point, Pac was he had it wrapped in the chair, and he was gonna do the stomp to mangle it, but he played it up before he did that senton. They played it up right before the finish of the match as well. When they did, I didn't catch what they call it, because I've heard that similar variations of this are to the Meltzer Driver, Indie Taker, but you know, that spike tombstone on the chair.
Yes. That move is wild. Just anything tombstone is going to do it for me. I mean, I'm an Undertaker fan.
And another thing that I really, really liked about it was when they did that to finish, Nick playing up the injury. So for those that say Young Bucks don't really tell stories in the ring, like, he didn't do the springboard. He went to the regular top rope to do this because he couldn't trust his ankle.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I haven't seen enough of them to say, "Oh no, they don't tell a story in a match." But they're telling stories here. I'm seeing stories being told.
Yeah, it's the Jim Cornette kind of side of things where people are very old school and they refer to them as like spot monkeys, and they're always doing the flips and dives and the super kicks and stuff, and there's no meaning or story to their matches.
I don't know. I think that stuff is cool. So
that actually makes me excited if we can ever manage to, and we took baby steps recently, get a certain friend not only to join the Discord, which he now has, but to do a guest appearance. Because while talking wrestling with him, I found out that he actually listens to Cornette a good amount. I mean, I do here and there about specific things. I'm surprised that that was one of the voices that he would kind of quote.
yeah, I don't really pay attention to anybody that's not top rope Tokes.
Occasionally,
top rope Tokes till the day I die, son. You know what I'm saying?
there's example like Kevin Nash has one. So, you know, that's why I learned about that whole he doesn't believe in square pizza in Detroit.
Yeah, see, I would never listen to him just because of that.
Some fun older stuff in there. But the end of the match was not the end of the night for these two teams, though. Because after that triangle still attacked and they left Nick a bloody mess.
Yeah, they made sure to hammer and bleed all three of them. But yeah, Nick was the bloodiest for sure.
And of course, being hobbled by the ankle. At one point, he's in the corner. You see Matt, who's the older brother, like crawl over to kind of lay on top of him to try to protect it. Then eventually Kenny does too. You think they're about to break up, and then they brawl some more, and they just keep attacking.
Yeah. And then I forgot what exactly happened, but I just saw Ray pulling him away finally.
Maybe him kind of being the moral person, maybe he was finally like, dude, it's enough.
He's like, yo, yeah. That's what it looked like. He just was like, hey, we hurt them enough.
Because him being the moral conscience of this team, I mean, it was even on display because he had the hammer earlier in the match, and he even kind of paused before going to use it. It was kind of like, well, it's a no DQ. I'm not cheating anymore.
Yeah, like it's all fair now, dog. Hammer, son. Now, obviously we knew the Elite were going to win this one because this is being set up for them to win in 7. But what was the 6th match stipulation?
Falls count anywhere. So we're gonna see them go throughout the arena and probably backstage some, and maybe there will be a tag during an entrance again, just so that way you can quickly get to the backstage area. But next is Falls Count Anywhere, and then do you remember how to say it in Spanish for match 7?
Escalera de la Muerte.
Ladder of Death.
Yes.
I know that much.
Yes.
Match 7 in California, the Young Bucks backyard. I wonder where this is going.
Yeah, I have no idea who's gonna win that. The only way you could possibly surprise me is if Death Triangle wins.
Yeah, and that was our real big question once like it became official that the Elite were coming back, because we both figured they're getting the belts back, but it would be kind of fucked up to have them come in and just win them within like a week. And then it's like, yeah, you are clearly making Death Triangle placeholders at that point, and that just sucks.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been cool. So that's why they're doing this whole series. It's like, oh, you give Death Triangle that first win at the pay-per-view to make it seem like their reign was legitimate.
Mm-hmm. So it's nice.
In which, by my thinking, that means that they're going to be tied 3-3 at the end of this.
Yeah, it's 100% going to the ladder match. And I'm guessing... Ooh. I don't remember when match 7 was supposed to be, though.
It's January something.
Because I know they have some decent stuff planned for both the 4th and the 11th.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was... I don't remember. I'm going to find out. Maybe.
It's just hard to... Where I was trying to think about is... It kind of feels like that would be a match that would usually kind of culminate at one of your special episodes of Dynamite, right? But...
Right.
Basically, between Holiday Bash, Winter is Coming, whatever they're going to call the one that's right after New Year.
Okay, so it's the 11th, because that's the one in Cali. They're in Seattle on the 4th.
So, it's just more so that line of thought. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Let's go Death Triangle.
Now, I have no transition to it. That one only worked because we were talking about the holidays, and now we're back to what we originally kind of were talking about right before the start of the show.
Football. The Lions.
That too.
Because that's what we were talking about.
So, kid, I can't even remember how to start. AEW asks, what do the people want for Christmas? And certain people came back with a simple answer. Send Hook. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Everyone had those signs. It does feel like his momentum has slowed down a bit in terms of overall crowd reaction, but I think that was to be expected when he was showing up more than once every 4 weeks or so. Yeah, he's rarely there, and all he does is squash people. Eventually, he's got to get boring. Because tonight wasn't even a promoted matchup, it was just one of those, hey, Hook is in action, which means Jobber.
Yep.
And we're not talking about Chris Jericho.
No, this is Exodus Prime. He was back to lose again.
Wardlow and then the Hook. Well, at least he didn't have to get powerbombed a bunch of times this time.
I think Serpentico must have been off the last couple weeks.
No, Serpentico only has to face the big one so he can really take damage.
But he didn't face Wardlow, though.
Wardlow's not big enough. Has to be Brian Cage.
All right, sure.
So if you're actually watching this match live, the amount of time of making that joke and laugh is about the amount of time that this match lasted.
Yeah. Hook just squashes people all the time.
I mean, it's definitely building up to him having another quality match with Lee Moriarty, so that's nice. Because after he won with the Red Rum, he's on his way out. Up on the screen pops Stokely, standing in like an alleyway.
Stokely. Yep. And there's Jungle Boy getting his ass whooped by Lee Moriarty. And Big Bill is kind of standing there watching.
Mhm.
Just like, yeah, whoop his ass.
Yeah. Stokely says something along the lines of, see, he thinks he can walk these streets alone. You can't walk these streets alone. Basically a nice message saying like, hey, we're gonna get you too. And Big fucking Bill. Still hate that
Big
name.
Bill.
Still hate it.
His name is Big Bill, man. That's what it is.
See, I could deal with like Big Bill as like MJF referring to like his bodyguard as a kind of as like a slight, honestly, but as an actual name, I'm like, what? He choke slams little jungle boy into a dumpster, and he gets lots of height on that.
Mm-hmm. And then Lee Moriarty threw a garbage bag on top of him.
Honestly, that was probably my favorite part of the whole thing.
I know. I only mentioned that because that was my favorite part, because it was like the cherry on top.
It's like, hey, cool, you're laying on a bed of garbage. Oh, now you're buried underneath it. It's a whole different story.
Yeah. Yeah, that's said it was the cherry on top. And they go back to the ring, and Hook pretty much doesn't care. He just walked away.
His emotionless self. Oh, at one point,
just like, yeah, I'm just gonna walk away.
Stokely like has a bag of chips and starts dumping it out. And I forgot what he said, but he ended with something talking about diabetes.
Stokely had some wild lines today.
Because we definitely saw him a couple times. At one point, Renee was with Bryan Danielson in the ring, and she asked the same question that John Moxley tried to answer the other day in a video, which is, what's going to happen now to the BCC? If that's the new story going forward, can we just get past the question and get to the falling apart?
And she didn't really ask him about what's happening to the BCC. It was more just, you know, what's happening with William Regal that she asked him, and he still danced around that question. He was like, I love Regal. The BCC doesn't. Okay.
Yeah, because it was something like she asked, like, what's going on with everything going on, what's going on with the BCC? Like, it might just be more of like a what's up scenario, but he's like, they're not gonna forgive Regal, but like, Regal is why he's a wrestler he is today. He's the man he is today. That kind of sentiment went on for a while.
Yeah, like because he danced around that whole thing for a while. He name dropped HBK and, you know, said he trained in Texas so he could get the fans hyped there. And I'm like, this is pointless. To get back to his point of, well, I love Regal. He taught me everything.
Then he just kept repeating that there's consequences to actions before, until like the fourth time or whatever, he finally goes, MJF, there's consequences for your actions. He repeated it himself a lot during this promo. Like, the consequences was one thing, not like necessarily word for word, but like, Regal made me the wrestler, made me the man, he made me this, but I mean, it works for him. His catchphrase was yes on repeat.
That is fair. That is fair. I don't know. This was
But then we got Stokely.
Yeah, this whole point of Bryan Danielson being out there to talk was so that we could get to hear Stokely talk. more than once.
Sorry, we should say he called out MJF.
Yes, sorry, MJF called him a coward, so he called out MJF, and MJF didn't come out. Ethan Page and Stokely came on out.
I'll be honest, I
And
laughed
Ethan
at what
Page
Stokely
made
said,
some
but I
good
didn't
points.
catch it. But yeah.
Oh,
So I hope you got that when we get there.
I caught some Stokely stuff there. I got you.
Love that little bald man.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, no, I agree though. Ethan Page definitely made good points. Like, the guy who just lost to MJF was the guy who won the tournament, who won the Battle Royal. Well, who was number 2 in all of those? Ethan Page.
Ethan Page. So, you know, it makes sense by his thoughts that he should be next up instead of Bryan Danielson.
The little vegetable man.
Yeah, how come the vegetable man gets to jump in front of him?
They just start listing off all sorts of like vegetarian versions of foods, like cauliflower Cheetos.
Yeah. Stokely told him to go home and eat some gluten-free glizzies.
Holy
He said, go home and eat some gluten-free glizzies. You, and then he calls him a raggedy bitch.
Oh wait, no, because Danielson had his lines before that. Because
Oh yeah, that's right. That was his comeback after Danielson talked again, and then he was just like, "You raggedy bitch."
Because the fans were, oh my god, Ethan Page and Stokely have so much heat. Those boos and those shut the fuck up chants. Because Danielson basically said, I can barely hear you because, well, 2 things. I'm distracted by the shine coming off your head. Can you not like grow hair or anything? Or something? And then he says also because the fans were politely telling them to shut up.
Yeah. The fans were very politely telling him to shut up.
Because that's why Stokely was irritated when he said that to him. It's like, call me bald.
Yeah. It's like, you raggedy bitch.
I was like, I felt like he said something right before that I missed, but then I wasn't sure if he said raggedy. I'm like, did you just call him a raggedy bitch?
Yes. Stokely. So Stokely, we got raggedy bitch today. We've got dick riding from Stokely on television.
And dick riding with no license, because I've seen YouTube videos where that's not going away.
No license, dog. So we need. What else has he got for us? Because goddamn it, Stokely is great. That line would have been my hit of the night if there wasn't some crazy stuff happening tonight.
Like, even on top of that, like, we'll get to it. Like, Ricky, like, his back and forth. Oh, there was good ones there too. Like,
there was good ones.
Sanjay Dutt rapped to get back at the Acclaim. Well, he attempted to rap.
Yeah, Sanjay Dutt delivered a promo to the Acclaim's entrance theme. That's what he did. It was that was not a rap at all.
He tried it. It was just so robotic. It's like if you had like a 1990s like robot toy, the way that it would talk, and you try to make it rap. You are going to lose to my longtime friend and his buddy Double J.
Nothing rhymed.
I didn't pay that much attention. I was just laughing.
There was no scheme to it. I was like, all right, so he is just literally delivering a promo to the Acclaim's music.
They try to make it all stylish, like some kind of video and stuff. Like, Dutt was trying to dress a bit more the part, as opposed to a pencil behind his ear and a full-blown suit.
I wish he still had. Did he? He didn't have the pencil behind his ear still.
He might have still had it.
Because he should have had the hat with the pencil behind his ear still.
Even
Just to let you know that that's still Sanjay Dutt.
Phantom had a very comic-y type shirt, color-wise and everything, which kind of fits more to the Acclaim's colorfulness. Than bold, but like big 7'4" shirt, written look like it belonged on the Nickelodeon show or channel. Almost like a Rugrats font.
Yeah, very, very Rugrats-esque. Looked a lot like it.
It
was goofy. And
if you weren't a wrestling fan, you'd probably hate it.
Oh yeah. I mean, to be fair, almost 100% of wrestling would be hated by someone who's not a wrestling fan.
It's one of those things I just couldn't believe. It wasn't like entertaining. It was like it was made for you to laugh at.
Yes. 100%. Because like halfway through, I was like, all right, so he's not even going to rhyme. Okay.
Oh, God. I just realized we just went right off from something else. Because we never finished. Oh, by the way, in the end, Danielson and Ethan Page they're gonna fight next week.
Yeah, they are.
It's all that was left at my notes after that point anyway, so like
yeah, I mean, obviously eventually that's what happens. Ethan Page does the stereotypical heel thing. You guys want to see us wrestle tonight? Well, too bad I'm not gonna wrestle in this shitty place next week.
I'm okay with it mainly because Danielson was overly campy about the challenge in the first place. He's like, do you all want to see us wrestle right here? Right. Like, he was overly campy with it. So I'm like, you know what? Be overly heelish with it. Like, cool.
Yeah.
And also,
yeah, we get
the boos and shit were loud. So I'm like, hey, it worked.
They got that fire. People are loving to hate them right now, man. It's great.
I'm just enjoying the fact that Ethan gets to actually be good.
If there is ever a shirt of Stokelyisms, I need it. If anyone from AEW ever watches any of our podcasts, make a Stokelyisms shirt and I will buy it.
Honestly,
I will buy 2 of them because I will make my boy here wear one too.
My favorite part was it was green screening your finger the entire time you try to point. That finger just disappeared.
Yep, I don't have fingers. It's crazy. Magic. But yeah, we want Stokelyism shirt because there's going to be more. Just keep a list and make a t-shirt out of it, and I'm getting it.
But speaking of the firm, we had the Ass Boys versus FTR.
Ass Boys. Ooh, the Ass Boys. Ass Boys.
So if they talked about it early on, and I asked you, you didn't hear it, I didn't hear anything about it, but early on in the match, I'm looking at the tights, I'm like, FTR loves Bret Hart trunks, but the Ass Boys are wearing some tights that were similar. I'm not saying they're like exact or even close to exact, but you can see some similarities between that and like Bret Hart's gear back in the day. And we know FTR loves Bret Hart. And yeah. I wasn't sure if it was on purpose or not, but throughout the story of this match, it became a little bit more clear.
Right, especially when you saw the sharpshooter.
Well, the whole stomp for the Sweet Chin music before. Yeah,
Yeah.
all of it. Actually, that's literally where my first notes actually are. Before that, I was just watching an FTR match and enjoying it, hoping that
Yeah.
Gun Club wouldn't be treated like total fools, so it was a waste of time.
And they've been building this matchup for a while. Of course, they wouldn't have just been like, haha, Guns, you got your ass beat him real fast.
Yeah,
No.
I was hoping to see them be. I just wanted to see them be good because we hadn't got to see too much of it. Like a lot of times it would be like dirty, sneaky, whatever. I'm like, all right, maybe this is where we're gonna get like an actual high quality match and everything for them.
Nope.
Definitely not a pay-per-view type of match.
This was not a high quality. I mean, it wasn't a bad or anything, but it just, eh.
It was a
The
match
ass
that
boys
actually,
showboat too much.
this match really felt like it was more to continue slash build more of their story. A story within FTR losing repeatedly now.
Yeah. The third time in a row. And then I brought this up to you before, but I was like, hey, have we ever seen FTR lose twice in a row? And they brought it up on commentary this time when they lost this match. That this was their third loss in a row, and we've never seen anything like that, and probably never seen anything like that in FTR's careers.
So some of the initial kind of reaction to their loss and what their tights said at Ring of Honor, along with we talked about how they wrestled during and how they reacted after the fact to their match to the Acclaimed, where it looked like Dax, not Dax, but Cash was pissed about some stuff, like where it looked like he kind of maybe wanted to turn and do the heel thing and all that. So going into this one, I was like, it kind of makes sense to see if the Haas Boys can steal one here to continue a descent for FTR story, as well as kind of legitimize the Ass Boys for a rematch down the line.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't 100% surprised about the Ass Boys winning this one. My thinking was you probably don't have FTR lose 3 matches in a row. But if FTR is going to lose to the Guns, this is the best time for them to lose to the Guns.
Mm-hmm. And also including Dax's injury from the Ring of Honor match and everything. It's like you have built-in excuses. You have a story of FTR being kind of questioning themselves maybe going forward.
Right. They are not the FTR from the summer of 2022. Late 2022 FTR is a different team.
That means they're going to lose the Japan titles at Wrestle Kingdom. The IWGP.
The IWGPs.
I feel like they're going to lose all of those, which is just now at this point, those ones and AAA probably before they eventually get back to the AEW championships.
Yeah. I'm still like sad about Wrestle Kingdom being at like Tuesday at like 2 o'clock in the morning or something weird.
Yeah. Not sure how that's going to work. I should probably ask, considering that's 2 weeks away at this point.
Yeah.
Just under now. But we kind of hinted towards it. Or didn't hint, talked about it. Austin acted like he was doing songs like he was going to do Sweet Chin music. Stops, does the suck it cross, the little chop right to Dax, and he drops him down, puts him in sharpshooter. That wasn't the end though. That would have been kind of cool if it was, though. But not
2-day
yet.
event.
They kind of had to cheat. What?
Well, it's not okay. Sorry, I was looking up Wrestle Kingdom and it says it's a 2-part event.
It was last year. It's supposed to be back to a 1-part now.
January 4th. And then why do I see January 21st?
Do you see? Wait, wait? Oh, there's a Fallout show or something like a couple of weeks later, I think.
Yeah. Yep. There we go. Never mind. Okay.
It's not like a night 1, night 2 like it was before, like WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And this year they went back to 1.
Cool.
But yeah, Colton rolls through something later into a pin, and Austin Gunn's able to grab his arm from the outside to give him leverage, and they steal a win.
Grabbing on his draws. It's cheating.
So, do you think I'm right, or do you think differently that FTR is going to lose both those belts, and then maybe be champion like 6 months from now in AEW, like Double or Nothing, maybe?
That makes sense. Plus it just seems like, yeah, they wouldn't want the belts to be away from the promotion for that long, because I'm pretty sure FTR hasn't really defended the IWGP belts much.
By much, how often do you talk about? Because they've been to Japan a few times in the last 3 months.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You've heard it probably in, like, during match commentary. They're like, oh yeah, they've traveled around, and like they were in Japan over the weekend, and they're back to defend or wrestle tonight, blah blah blah. Because there was a match I think it was over in Japan, that was them versus Aussie Open in Japan.
Okay.
That could be crazy. That I heard was amazing. That happened probably in September, October. I know they defended the titles, I think, in November. And Japan doesn't run like weekly shows either.
Yeah, I know that.
But yeah, definitely not there for every show, but they get there sometimes.
Smokes, that's a big bowl card.
But it has been they have had the belts for a long time to be that consistently away, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then I don't know a ton about Goto and Yoshihashi, but I know their names well enough to know that they're definitely worthy of taking the belts off of them.
Yeah, I definitely don't know if there's any story between them all. I apologize for not knowing what's going on in New Japan outside of when it relates to AEW on AEW TV.
Right.
Like Forbidden Door.
Yeah, it's hard to get New Japan stuff. I don't know how to do that anyway.
They have a streaming service for like the pay-per-views.
Oh.
I don't know about necessarily on weekly TV. I do think it used to show up on a channel like at night, but I don't remember if it still does. I think that deal might have ended recently.
Makes sense.
Because I have no real way to jump into this match I can think of, because we kind of passed the one chance to do it already. Jon Moxley in an unannounced match was going to face Darius Martin from Top Flight. And
yeah,
I think we found, did we know that before Moxley's promo?
Yeah, they mentioned it like at the beginning of the night.
Okay. So yeah, Mox had a little backstage thing where he talks about the Trios Battle Royal coming up on Rampage. Basically going, Hangman, you know where to find me once again, but will we ever get in the ring again? Settle it. But alludes to, do you really want to do that again? He's not his fault. He knocked Hangman out. That just means he's good at his job.
Yeah.
So this promo went through talking about the trios match, talking about Hangman, before we ever get to Mox's opponent for tonight in Darius Martin.
He knew this was a foregone conclusion. He was like, you guys already know.
You might as well not even give
like,
Darius Martin an entrance at that point.
Yeah, like you guys, he's like, you guys already know. Darius Martin's gonna jump around. He's gonna do some stuff that looks kind of cool, but I'm gonna win.
Hold on, you forgot something. I'm gonna bleed and I'm gonna win.
Yeah, he's gonna bleed very, very lightly today.
It was a miracle. That is your Christmas miracle this year. The fact that Mox only bled a little bit.
Just a little bit of bleeding for Mox. Yeah. He did all right with his very small amount of bleeding. I'm proud of him.
Yeah. We talked about that as it happened. The match didn't do anything really to keep attention. And the ending was basically Moxley just beating up Darius for about a minute straight.
Yeah. Yeah, he stomped him. He elbowed him.
Put him in a sleeper.
For a long time. And Darius was like, no.
Then
he was like, yeah, I guess so.
Death Rider after that for the win. So, like, literally... That is a long time to end a match without like a counter or anything or any suspense. It's like, nope, I'm just gonna beat you up for the next 60 seconds, no problem.
Yep. I'd say Mox pretty much did exactly what he said he was gonna do in his promo.
Oh, the best part about this match to me was simply that Mox's entrance started. They went to commercial. They did not waste 5 minutes of our time.
That was great. He even had to make his entrance longer so that it lasted the entire commercial break. Because he went to the ring and I'm sure someone was like, hey, we still got another minute to fill. Can you go walk around in another circle?
Yeah. And like Claudio's just still chilling at the ring, and Mox goes back into the ground, walks like 100 feet back, walks across, comes back through the other side. Like, okay. I was glad I called it. It made me laugh at picture in picture. I'm glad I called it, but
yeah, I'm happy I was still paying attention. Because Mox intro and picture in picture, good chance that I wouldn't have watched.
If you have to pee, now's the time to do it.
Right.
You might as well have your commercial be like one of those intermission signs that lights up, and or have like a bathroom sign.
Yeah. If essentially that was the time right there. And then because that was real awkward too, that his intro just started while Hook was walking up the ramp. Like they're just showing Hook walking up the ramp, and then you just see Mox's video, like his intro's video, pop up, and you're like, "What the fuck? Why is Mox coming out? Is he involved in this?" No, his match is coming up, and they started his entrance before Hook left.
But going back to Moxley's promo, a little bit later at night, we get a little video package. Hype up the trios battle royal on Rampage. Yeah. I forget the full name of the thing. $300,000 draft Kings 3 or draft 3 Kings. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like they used the word casino again.
Could be, although be kind of crazy to do something that required that many teams to do a casino. when it's a fucking trios match in the first place, so that's already 3 people. It'd be, if you did that as a Royal Rumble, that'd be 90 people. Think about that. Granted, Casino is more like 20 usually, but yeah.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was too many people on there.
So unless they did like 2
maybe
teams
like
per
4
suit
teams or something, I don't know. Because it looked like there was no more than like 12 people up there.
But the only ones that were really featured in the little video package were Best Friends.
Chuck is getting his mom a chainsaw for Christmas.
Prince getting his mom a new van. Did Orange Cassidy say anything?
I don't think so. I don't believe he said anything at all.
And then we saw 3 members of the Dark Order, possibly the only 3 that are left. I haven't done a roster check in a while.
Say, Reynolds, Silver, Evil Uno.
Because Grayson's out of the company. 10
Reynolds,
left.
Silver, Evil Uno.
And then Hangman.
And Evil Uno. Oh, -1. Forget -1.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Technically, he probably does have a contract for the future already signed. It just can't officially go into effect.
When he's 19, he'll be back.
But yeah, so outside of the comedy, I mean, you called it during the show. This basically served one purpose:
to let us know that Chuck is getting his mom a chainsaw.
Dark Order does not want Hangman coming after Mox during the middle of that match. They tell him stay away.
Yeah, in the most not serious Dark Order way, they tell him, come on, man, like, back off. We know you guys have it out for each other and you want to, touch tips with each other and stuff, but
you said that, it made me think I missed the wingman in that 1 week that we got that promo. Let's touch tips. Pinky's in.
That's
And honestly, if I'm reading this right, that gets us through all the matches besides the main events. Now, part of that is because there's still multiple segments and multiple long segments that we haven't even talked about. What's that?
Say less duties.
To start the show off, I feel like leaving the main event as the main event is a hell of a match. Ricky Starks, kicking off the show, comes out to the ring. Just basically talking about how it'd be nice if he got to kick off tonight's show as the new champion.
Yeah. Ooh.
It is what it is.
Damn MJF's out here winning. Cheater.
But it's like, at least he lost like a man, where MJF won like a coward. Starks has his dignity and respect. MJF doesn't even have these. Kind of throwback to the last couple weeks of TV. He grabs his balls.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the first time in this promo. Sorry, it was the first time. It wasn't the last time.
Mm-hmm. And he also said that this isn't going to be the last time
they face MJF and
that they
face
that each other. Yeah. I mean, months ago I said this was going to be like this generation Stone Cold and Rock. Not because Ricky has very much Rock mannerisms and stuff, but just because of the way these two I could see these two being the face of AEW for years to come.
I think right now they're in the Rock Triple H phase. Because remember, before it was Austin and the Rock, we had Triple H for the Rock. with the Rock rising up together for years, and he's definitely and MJF's definitely more of a Triple H. So that being said, who would be most like the Rock type of character within that generation? So far from what we've seen
within this generation
for them. Do we know of anyone that's younger that seems like a brawler? Because Mox has got like years on them. Just whatever you say, don't say Wheeler Yuta. Don't say Wheeler Yuta.
That's why Ricky is the Rock.
My most logical choice I've been able to come up with in my head has been Daniel Garcia. I could just see him straight up being a fighter, because we all said he would fit with BCC.
Yeah. He could be CC.
So, but yeah, Ricky says at the end of the day, at some point, Ricky will be the man around here.
He's gonna work his way back up to that AEW. So line him up so Stroke Daddy can knock him down.
And honestly, that was like everything else so far was things that you could expect to hear. That was the first of many lines that Ricky ended up dropping off, that it was just, they had to be off the cuff, not even thought about, just pure Ricky.
Either way, you know, after he's saying that he's about to whip everybody's ass and, you know, line them all up so Stroke Daddy can knock him down, Jericho's like, I'm gonna come out there.
With Sammy,
he just talked about being the Stroke Daddy. That sounds like the kind of name that Jericho would like to take. He's like, I'm gonna take that moniker from you. Give it. I will now be the Stroke Daddy, along with the Wizard, Neo Show, and the everything else.
I mean, based on some stuff we saw later in the night, it feels like the Wizard needs to be coming back right about now.
See, I think the Wizard's coming back for sure.
But he comes out with Sammy and Garcia by his side, and he says he's been waiting for this day for a long time, like expecting, you know, Ricky to kind of hit that superstar point, get up there where, you know, they could kind of be face to face, toe to toe, kind of in an interesting position.
Yeah, he said, yeah, he always knew that he was going to be a big star,
a future champion.
He's a future champion, but all he needs is a little guidance,
little influence,
little Jericho in his life.
At this point, there's like a break, like letting it sink in, and the crowd just goes crazy with Sammy sucks chants. And I was loving every second of it. Thank you, San Antonio.
Yeah, crowd was not feeling Sammy.
Yeah.
He had nothing to do, well, other than the fact that he was just out there at this time. He didn't really even have anything to do with it yet.
Yeah. Jericho goes like, he doesn't suck, because if he sucks, that means I suck and I don't suck. Well, I don't think it was right after this, but at some point Ricky offers to give him something to suck. Because I don't remember how exactly it ended up there, but when that happened, I was like, what? He even acted like he was about to whip it out on TV.
Hey, he was going to give him something to suck, man. He went hard on Jericho, though.
Yeah, at first he acted shocked that Jericho even gave him a compliment. He was like, feigned it, or whatever you want to call it, where he, like, overblows it. Oh my, I got a compliment from Chris Jericho. Starts talking about
He's
respecting
like,
Jericho, and then
he's like, yeah, man, you used to look like an air fryer, and now you're out here shredded, looking like a dad on your fifth wedding. Hell no, I'm not joining the JAS. Like, you lost
to a
to a
jobber.
jobber.
Oh, oh, and that next one though. After that, what's the J and JAS stand for?
I don't know. Wait, what did he say there?
He said the J and JS might as well stand for jobbers.
The J and JAS might as well. I just was hung up on the JAS holes.
Oh, the J's.
The jazz holes.
Yeah.
When he called Sammy and Danny jazz holes.
Because when he called them jobbers and he made that jobber comment, the fans started chanting jobbers at him and everything all over again. This was so good.
Jazz holes. Those jazz holes. I love this segment.
Ooh.
And then, but how did? So I remember him getting back to the point of, you know what? Let's just have this match.
He challenged him for
Clearly,
January 4th.
I'm not joining your group. Yeah. I'm just here to insult you now.
Yeah, he challenged him for January 4th, and yeah, because basically Jericho asked him again if he wanted to join the group. Or hinted to it, but he was like, wrong choice. And he's like, get him, boys. And Jericho attacks from, not Jericho, but Hager attacks from behind. I think he yells something about his hat too, because he like grabs his hat instantly.
He probably yelled, "I love this hat."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would yell, "I love this hat" before I attack someone too.
And you know, like AEW's all in on hoping that this next guy's a future star, because Action Andretti came back out to try. Actually,
he didn't try anything.
Exactly. Cleared out the whole fucking 4 members of the JAS, leaving Jericho down in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, he cleared out everybody except for Garcia. Once it got down to just Garcia, Ricky was able to fight him off because it was just the one on him. But yeah, Action Andretti is being pushed.
Because they even let him hop up
as Jericho's worst nightmare.
But he jumps up and they let it end with him hitting the split-legged moonsault on Jericho in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Gave this dude a promo.
I was gonna say, it's all right. He got to shine there. But, you know, got his little promo. He's on a roll, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. He's on a roll for sure. Dude got an interview. Like, who else gets interviews on Dynamite that's brand new? Saraya.
In my head, I was sitting trying to think, because most of the backstage segments end up being something like Mox, where he just talks into a camera. They used to do a lot more Tony, but now it's Renee. A little bit of Marvez.
Yeah, most of them are Renee now. They must be paying her a lot. They're like, we need to get some work out of her.
But this one was with Tony. It's just like, hey, did what some people would say is unthinkable, and now he has all this attention. He knew Jericho Appreciation Society, they basically weren't just gonna take that, and they're gonna take out aggression on somebody, so he had Starks back. Yeah,
That's right. Because, you know, he knew they were gonna do that to Ricky Starks because of him. Oh boy. Yeah. Where are they going with this? Where are they going with this? Just keep bringing him out as like Jericho's nightmare. Like just when Jericho thinks something's about to go good, just have Action Andretti's music hit and he doesn't even walk out. Just have him freak the fuck out. Give him some. Well, if he doesn't have music, give him some music, and then just have Jericho freak out every time it comes on.
I mean, he had the whole music in Titantron, but I mean, who's to say that's a permanent thing? It might be a placeholder thing.
Right.
Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Ange stroll up though. Say he's on a roll lately. You might as well even say he's on fire. And then the Wizard made his grand return.
Yes. The Wizard is back.
Andretti just kind of turns away from the tag team guys, and all of a sudden, just from out of where you can't even see on the screen, a big old blast of fire right in his face.
Jericho hitting him with a fireball. I bet you he's going to be on commentary for Rampage now. Just so he can talk about throwing fireballs into people's faces.
Yeah. And then kind of like mushes his face into the ground and keeps yelling that he's on fire too. And so that's going to happen again. I just have no idea where it's going to go because he can't get another win on Jericho, can he?
So
I mean, I guess I could see it.
Yes, he can.
It can't be definitive. It has to be kind of like a sneaky shock thing, though, right?
Right. Like, I think if he wins again, it's going to have to be like a roll up or Sammy or something tries to interfere and something goes wrong.
Like, they go to interfere and Ricky returns the favor and has Action Andretti's back and causes distraction.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I think it could definitely happen again because I think this Jericho and Action Andretti story is going to be something that goes on for more than another week or so.
Depending on how long it goes. Because I don't know where Garcia seemed all in on JS again, and then they lost the title, and now that he's being told to shadow Sammy, his reaction wasn't that great. I would kind of love to see Garcia just in the background being amused by Jericho being tortured.
Garcia's a flip-flopper. Can't make up his mind. Get that guy. I still think that whole thing was weird, where it was like, oh, Garcia's gonna leave them and go to the BCC, and then he just was like, nah, I'm doubling down. I love JS.
Yeah, it was awkward as it happened, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Speaking of doubling down, this will be a quick little thing. We got a double champ, Samoa Joe, doing basically a video Christmas card.
Yeah, this was real cute. Thanks, Samoa Joe. Merry Christmas to you too.
He says Merry Christmas to everybody. He says even the Wardlow. Everyone have a happy holiday season. Wardlow, have a Merry Christmas because you will not be having a Happy New Year.
I liked it. It was really simple, but it was just like, yeah.
And even
I'm Samoa Joe and I'm festive, but I'm still here.
And it even fit
your shit up.
The holiday theme because he's like, I'm going to give you exactly what you want. Because they're going to fight. Yeah, but he's going to give them more than he can handle.
I don't know. I almost certainly feel like that belt's going back on Wardlow. But we'll see next week.
I know Wardlow's very pro AEW, great backstage guy. There's certain things I've seen him say. Cool. That's awesome. I still don't care about you at all. I just also recognize that you are being shoved down our throats. Because there's a lot of people that do like him. I just don't know why yet. Give me a reason why.
Yeah, he's one of those people that I want to like him, but I don't understand why people love him. Because I'm like, I want to like him, but I don't have a reason to. But people love him, and I don't understand why.
I mean, he's being built like Goldberg in the 90s in a very similar way. Like Goldberg, he didn't have a personality. There's nothing to go off of. It's just
Goldberg had a personality. You see them fireworks? Them fireworks was all the personality he needed. And then this.
I'm so emotionally invested in your calisthenics, man. I want to know how you inhale all that smoke and puff it out your nose like that, and like your face isn't on fire.
Exactly. Personality.
The biggest thing I want to learn from you, Goldberg, is how can I make $1 million while only knowing 3 wrestling moves?
Hey, you gotta be a former pro football player. That's the ticket.
All right, so here's the plan. I go to the country that has the worst professional soccer team. Try to find a way to get on their
US.
Oh no, there's gotta be worse. There's gotta be worse. Like, I don't even care if it's a country of like 50 people in the middle of nowhere. Be like, let's make a soccer team. Go to the Olympics. I am a professional soccer player, which then I could bring back and say I'm a professional football player. Now teach me 3 wrestling moves.
Yeah, then you're still gonna have the problem of being, what, 5'7"? Maybe he's 5'7", 5'6".
Hey,
yeah.
I'm not as cute as Jungle Boy. I'm almost as tall as him.
Yeah, and you're not Luke Perry's Spawn, so yeah.
Don't. I mean, we kind of. Oh, wait, no. There. Talk about everything else really for the show besides one major segment and one match to be the main events. But we were supposed to have a special guest mediator on tonight's AEW Dynamite. A mediator. Yeah. Supposed to be impartial, right?
We had a special guest hype man. He was definitely a hype man. Because he was supposed to be a mediator, but he was definitely Swerve's boy the whole time. And he did not try to hide it in any kind of way.
In case you missed it, Rick Ross was on the show tonight.
Yeah. He sized up that big motherfucker. Yes, that's right. Rick Ross was on AEW television and he called Keith Lee a big motherfucker on live TV. Keith Lee makes that little cutthroat sign. He's like, "Yeah, you gotta cut his mic. He's gonna get you guys fined or something."
Because the whole time, like, they just do a basic intro for Tony, or Keith Lee, and they're sitting there waiting for Swerve, and he's just like, man, wait for that young legend. Like already making it clear that he has a favorite here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was like, you gotta wait for the young legend. Give the young legend some time. And then he's just looking at Keith Lee and he's like, he's a big motherfucker.
If this goes wrong, fuck.
I mean, we all know who Rick Ross is. He's not a small dude by any means. And he looks at Keith Lee and he says, you was a big motherfucker.
Keith Lee just pops, like shrugs her away. He's like, oh.
It's like, he's like, this is cool, but AEW is probably not going to have you back, Rick Ross.
If you are, we're going to be doing pre-tape backstage segment that we can cut this shit up and do it again.
Yeah, he's not going to be on there live again, that's for sure.
Eventually Swerve comes out, but no music playing, carrying a big bag of who knows what.
Yeah, he had his bag and his coat. You know, I guess it was just playing that, oh, he was, you know, he just got here and, you know, he this was on Keith Lee's time and he didn't plan this. So
I'm pretty sure it's on AEW's time.
Yeah, it was definitely on AEW's time.
You know, both of their bosses.
Yeah, he just he did his best. What about me? What about Raven? It's like I can't deal with all these accusations.
And then Rick Ross is getting up in Keith Lee's face again when he's like, especially these false. He's like, false, right in Keith Lee's face.
Yeah, and this is when he turned into full-on hype man because he was just repeating whatever Swerve said at this point. It's grand. It is grand.
So weird. So Swerve starts up how Keith Lee can't keep his eye on things. Like, I forgot what he said the first couple times, but he's like, can't keep your eye on the ball. You gotta keep your eyes in the back of your head. And like, Rick Ross is going behind Keith Lee and he takes like two fingers and point at the back of the head. I'm like, they're not gonna have Rick Ross do the attacking, are they?
Yeah,
that would be
thought
weird.
That's what was about to happen. And I was like, really? Is it going to be Rick Ross? He's going to be the one that does it.
But then they waited long enough for him to kind of do the full lap around him. And this is why going into Ring of Honor Final Battle, it wouldn't, I had talked about, not surprise me if Shane Taylor Promotions ended up on the same side as Swerve.
Yeah, you weren't too far off. That Swerve was about to be in a faction.
I just didn't know it was going to be led by Rick Ross.
Yeah, I again, after dropping an F-bomb on AEW TV today, I don't think he's going to be back.
Yeah. So eventually it is Parker Boudreaux who, last time we saw him was when the Trustbusters were on TV on a regular basis.
Yeah, like 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
I don't.
And they were just there to look kind of tough and lose.
Yeah. He attacks from behind, but usually when people attack like that, they get the better of whoever they're attacking.
Not when it's Keith Lee.
Yeah. Keith Lee knocked him to the outside, went to continue to go towards Swerve. And then we don't know who or what or anything about what happened because some random other person that even commentary didn't know attacked Keith Lee too.
Yeah, it was a random tattoo guy.
I was gonna have you repeat because I couldn't remember what you kept calling him. But yeah,
random tattoo guy.
Was he fully bald or did he have a little like patch on top of his head?
Oh yeah, he had the little,
like the tiny ponytail.
Yeah, like a little ponytail on top, and then just tattoos surrounding everything, everywhere. And his name is Tattoo Guy, as far as I'm concerned, because they didn't even know what his name was. Random tattoo guy.
He didn't have to hold his hold for long against Keith Lee, but just for a moment after the surprise, because Parker came back with a steel chair and just wrapped it around Keith Lee's back. At this point, yeah, Rick Ross, he might as well just been yelling, yeah, like doing the whole hype shit like that at that point.
Much. Yeah, because he does eventually announce the name of the new stable. It's like, yeah, the Mogul Affiliates.
It very much sounded like the beginning of a music track.
Yeah, it was. It was dope.
It was kind of like a DJ Khaled slash who's the one who used to always say his name in the beginning besides DJ? Oh, Jason Derulo.
Jason Derulo. He was a singer.
Right. I just mean music. I said music track. I didn't name a specific.
Oh. That's just, I don't know.
Just kind of how they always threw it like over top of everything in the beginning.
Yeah, he would in the beginning. Yeah, forgot about him.
That's all I meant, like in the beginning when they yelled.
Jason Derulo.
Now, the end of this was different. I'll give him credit for that.
Oh.
Do I need a graphic at this point?
Yeah.
Good.
Because Parker and random tattoo face guy got Keith Lee, or they got the steel steps out, and they got Keith Lee up on the steel steps, put a cinder block on his chest. Swerve gets up on the top rope, and he drops a swerve stomp and crushes the cinder block on to Keith Lee's chest. Holy shit. I repicked my hit of the night a few times, but I knew there was nothing possible that could happen that would be better than that today. Wow. That was cool as fuck.
Yeah. Because all depending on, because we've used hit of the night in plenty of ways before. We've even used it on like very, very good like lines and insults, like when they cut deep kind of shit. So I'm like, man, there was options, because there were some insults tonight made me want to throw it on there. This happened.
Like the gluten-free glizzies and the Stokely calling Danielson a raggedy bitch until this segment. That was mine. So yeah, usually it'll be like a hit or a quip, but this one had to be a hit because holy shit. Holy shit.
Don't see cinder blocks too often, and usually when they're used, it's used pretty effectively. But,
yeah.
But now
I'm gonna say that probably hurt.
But now though, something you have been pining for. It was just a matter of the right card at the right time to make it happen. But another time for the women to main events in AEW Dynamite.
Finally.
Women's championship on the line between Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, both being people that the fans love.
And damn, this was a good match.
If I don't have that habit of looking at the time, I thought this match could have ended like 5 minutes sooner, just because on a regular basis, they probably would have.
Yeah. But yeah, they gave them like a full 15-minute match here.
And the ending is, I mean, the whole match was good, but towards the ending, if you take away the very long distraction type stuff, the actual match was so good.
Yeah, I mean, we start out early with Sheeta being, she was on fire. She's, you know, that was the story is, I'm on fire. I want this women's championship back. And Jamie's just showboating. She's just like, yeah, I'm already the champ.
At one point, she's doing lunges on the outside.
Yeah, when she starts doing lunges on the outside, yeah. And eventually, obviously, she has to take her seriously because it's Sheeta. But
big dueling
cool.
chants throughout the match too. Like throughout the entirety of the match, the fans loved both of these.
Yeah, like this was just a good grindy kind of match, just back and forth, a lot of counters, a lot of they're both passed out. They can barely move anymore because they've given their all.
Like Jamie avoided the katana once that way. It looked like a second time, but then how she reacted after was clear. She just like she ducked it, but just stayed down for too long.
Yeah.
Showed off her power numerous times. Multiple really strong looking lariats.
Some of them didn't look good, but
Jamie Hayter did a fucking moonsault.
Really good.
Never seen that before. I completely forgot about it.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that too.
Because I literally took 0 notes on this match, and usually when we take 0 notes, that's not a negative thing. That means either it's a squash or we're just watching the match.
Yeah. I mean, by this point of the night, by the main event, I'm usually like, I'm not taking notes no matter what happens. But yeah, this was definitely a good match to sit back and watch.
I can't remember if this was before or after the interference where it was lining up towards the end. I think it was after. But my head of the night was, it wasn't necessarily an extreme thing. It wasn't a great line. It was just a very impressive sequence of moves and display of power. And she just climbing up to the top, and Jamie's able to get underneath her, take her out of the turnbuckle to go for a power bomb. Cheetah does the Hurricane to roll through, tries to get her pin, but Jamie continues to roll through, so she's in like the pin position. But as opposed to going for a pin, she lifts her back up, and as opposed to just doing kind of like a weak power bomb, she gets her like all the way up and then plants her again. And I was like, I've seen roll throughs and powerful moves like with a lot of the men, and it's usually a much smoother roll through, like their crossbody off the top rope. It's a lot smoother of a roll. This, it was so nice to see. Good combination of power and technical stuff.
I thought it was damn good.
I suddenly took off the ticker as opposed to the graphic. Whoops.
Biscuit.
Jamie had to keep going for the Haterade ripcord clothesline multiple times to the end. It could have came at any time. And this is what I was saying, like, this match could have ended. And it just kept going. Yeah. I was like, yes, so much fun.
Yeah, that finish was crazy. So I loved, like Sheeta just dodging everything, just doing everything she can to avoid being hit by that one last ripcord lariat.
But of course, eventually she falls prey to it. Jamie retains. But then her friends have to get involved, and they continue to attack and beat up on Sheeta.
Of course. Hey. And our former AEW Women's World Champion Toni Storm comes out to save her, but she can't.
And also, it kind of shows why her championship reign had to end, because nobody cared that she was coming out to save them.
Yeah.
She also
should have been Willow.
Like you said, she did a very, very poor job at being helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, she... was doing all right, and then she just ignored the fact that Jamie Hayter was there.
Yeah, it's probably a big mistake, considering
Yeah.
she's the one carrying the championship.
Yeah. She ignored the real threat. And then Saraya came out. She was like,
That
Oh,
one got a reaction.
yeah. Yeah, people reacted to that. Should have been Willow, though.
Now, she gets in the ring. It was just her one-on-one with Britt for a second, and then she laid her out with a kick, and that was basically it, right? They left, and the three faces kind of all held each other up in the ring. Well, Saraya held both of them up, I should say.
Yeah. We ended the show with the women's segment today. And we are all good with that.
Hey,
we are happy with that.
You may get
more than happy with that.
You may get to call Willow the main event all the time for you. I actually got to have Jamie in the main event, so I'm happy. And winning it, retaining successfully, and still.
Mm-hmm. So that's a trios match coming up there. And then obviously.
But with who?
Eventually.
Because I feel like that whole mystery partner thing isn't going to be one of those two. I hope.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Because I mean, it kind of makes it.
Yeah, if it's a mystery partner, I feel like you should bring in someone that's hasn't been around for a while or something like that.
Right. If it was a matter of who are you going to choose out of these two, then that kind of needs to be the story for, at least a couple of weeks. Like, hey, pick me, or hey, pick me, kind of where they're torn on who to pick. Not mystery.
Yeah. I don't know. What I really hope the mystery partner is Rey Mysterio.
You know what? If people started talking about Sasha like a month or two ago, I would have felt like it was a far stretch. But there's a lot of news out there that says that might actually be realistic.
That's what that's what all the wrestling news that's popping up on my phone recently has been about Sasha and New Japan and possibly AEW.
Because the whole New Japan thing kind of started as like a rumor / like one of those cryptic things on social media like 6 months ago or something crazy. Like her just posting a picture of the other one who is the champion, like Winnipeg. So like it was just something very, very cryptic. But now that part is actually confirmed that she's going to New Japan, I don't know if it's confirmed that she's actually wrestling at it, but like apparently she is going there. But so are other WWE people.
Oh yeah, Carl Anderson is on the card.
And he's hinted at AJ Styles coming back with him. Because AJ has history in New Japan and the Bullet Club and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're trying to get in there.
We shall see. I mean, sort of, because for us it'll probably be wake up at normal time. I see it on Twitter. Stupid time difference.
I'm like, if somehow we can avoid the results until we get off of work, then we can do it.
I think you're forgetting about a problem.
What?
I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday morning at like 2 a.m.
Oh yeah.
Which means we'd be going to work
and then
that
their shits
day.
are long.
And then it's a Wednesday night, which means we have Dynamite.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
we'd have to
Damn.
get to Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I'd like legit have to turn off all notifications on my phone.
In Japan, do you understand the concept of weekends?
I don't think they do.
I mean, granted,
Wednesdays.
it's a decent time zone for them, so local time and everything.
Yeah. But still, if you guys did it on the weekend, we would be able to find a way to make this happen. Like, I would take a long ass nap through the day and just watch it.
Even if you did it on a Saturday night where it's like after a Friday night, I literally would just be like, all right, going home. I'm going to sleep for like 5 hours. Blow up your phone at like 1 a.m. to make sure your ass wakes up. And be like, all right, coming over, because if not, if we try to watch this on ourselves,
because I was going to say, if we tried to watch it separately, we'd be asleep. There'd be no way.
Especially considering we had just like woke up for like a nap situation. It'd be just so easy to be like, ah, fuck this, going back to bed.
Yep. Yeah, there'd be no way. Like, Discord would be like, are you still there?
Speaking of going to bed, it is after midnight for us. If you are still here watching this live stream, or by chance maybe after the fact watching VOD, do us a favor. There's a little button that looks like a hand with a thumbs up underneath. Click it. Also, subscribe, all that good fun stuff. Discord link in the description. Don't get slapped.
Check that shit out.
It green screened that pen like almost 100%.
That's cool.
I'm assuming it was a pen because I could barely see it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was actually meaning a writing pen. Not that kind of pen.
A pen of smoking.
Living up to the brand name.
Top Rope Tokes.
Have a good night.
Night.